Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Main Man Sweet here. Hope you're all doing awesome as always. Today I want to do a breakdown, sort of a recap of the Tiger Upper 2022 tournament that just concluded. I watched clips of it. I didn't watch the whole entire event, but I definitely seen Knee's matches, Ulsan's, Chanel's, DeWood. We'll talk about all of these people in this video. But the real reason why I wanted to do this video is because of Twitter's reaction. Now, the whole Korea versus Pakistan rivalry has been going on for so long, ever since Arslan showed up and put Pakistan on the map. It has been a back and forth battle for the top. The most recent tournament before this Tiger Uppercut tournament was Evo. Arslan showed up and Khan showed up. Arslan was first defeated by Shadow and then again by Khan. Khan was defeated twice by Knee, and Knee was crowned the champion. And that was really cool to see Knee finally win a Evo, but that was not the end of the rivalry. Right after that, like probably a few days after Evo, after everyone got over the whole patch 5.0 and the Tekken 8 teaser, everyone was right back at it. I covered it already, but there was this Korea versus Pakistan event that a lot of people were trying to set up. Knee simply said, fix your visa problems and then set it up. Since those tweets were sent out, a lot of Pakistanis are getting their visas. Arslan has his, and there was a few others who also has theirs. One thing that was also mentioned in this Korea versus Pakistan event by Arslan, he listed out 5 people he would want on his team. And one of those people was DeWood. And at the time, I had no clue who this person was. I knew who Bilal was, who I think the John was another person on the team. But the only name I did not know was DeWood. And now that catches us up to Tiger Uppercut. DeWood enters Tiger Uppercut as the only Pakistan player. Knee's there, Chanel's there, Ulsan, Book, and many others. DeWood pretty much goes through the whole entire tournament untouched. 2-0, 3-0, blowing everyone out. There was only a few people who really gave DeWood a challenge. And I was watching Eris's perspective. You'll see that in the background. Shout out to Avoiding the Puddle.
Dude, who gave this bitch a jetpack? Which one of you Namcoms thought it was a good idea to give that fucking clank a jetpack, dude?
The reason why I think the match between DeWood and Knee was so soul crushing is because it's not a matter of skill there that lost Knee the match. It's the matter of knowledge, a simple knowledge check. That's what's so crazy about Tekken. You have people like Knee, who was one of the best to ever touch the sticks, and there's still things that he doesn't know but other people know. And in these specific situations, that knowledge can lose you the whole entire match. I have some tweets here sort of reacting to the defeat of Knee and the victory of DeWood. The first one that I'll read, this is from Ashes Gaming. This is Arslan Ash's team. Ladies and lads, DeWood is your Tiger Uppercut 2022 champion. Won his first ever international tournament and beat all of the top players. We are so proud of you. Something else that I want to note, Always Honey tweets out, I would like to congratulate Dragon Ball Z player from Pakistan named Uchicha, I think is how you say that, for winning the Tiger Uppercut 2022. I believe that Dragon Ball Z community is very small in Pakistan, but he did it. Huge respect. Pakistan cleaned up. They won Tekken and Dragon Ball Z. Before we talk about Arslan Ash's tweets, I want to talk about Spaghetti Rip. Now, Spaghetti Rip, I don't know the full story behind Spaghetti Rip. Spaghetti Rip seems like no matter who wins, he's just going to be cheerleading. Like, I remember he used to show up to events wearing a shirt that say Korea, and he used to be talking about how Korea's the best and this and that. And then you have him showing up to EU events saying EU is the best and this and that. And now Pakistan. It's like this person will root for anyone. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Keep on bringing that energy to the FGC. I love to see it. The first tweet from Spaghetti Rip says, the lone Pakistani at TGU makes it into grand finals on winner sides. Took Book out 3-0. To quickly mention Book, Spaghetti Rip also says Thai players are so strong. Talon's Book says not true. By Thai players, we ass. Jumping back over to Pakistan and the tweets about Dawood.
I love Pakistan. I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan. I love Pakistan.
Spaghetti Rip says there's no doubt about it anymore. Pakistan is by far the best Tekken playing nation on the planet. His first international tournament, Dawood is your TGU champion. The wins keep stacking for Pakistan. I heard all the excuses. Only Arslan, only 2D. Loads of people don't want to accept the reality. Think deeply about what just happened today and what happened since 2019 and get rid of your biases. Pakistan #1. Spaghetti Rip does bring up some good points in this tweet. You don't beat people like Nee and Chanel and everyone they've been beaten for the past 3 years. You don't do that by surprise. Yeah, you may be able to take out one person like, oh wow, he did something that I never predicted, but you don't beat Nee 3-4 times with that. You beat him once, you beat him one round. It's not gonna happen that way. But the one criticism that people always had was them playing powerful characters. Akuma, they all showed up and they were demon 2D flipping, EX spamming, and they kind of switched characters. I know some of them play Geese, some still may play Akuma, but we're starting to see a bigger variety. The John plays Marduk, which is still kind of strong. Bilal plays Brian Fury, which is still kind of a strong character. Dawood plays Alyssa, which we'll talk about her placement in just a second. Some consider her strong, some consider her weak. But you can see now that they're playing different characters. It's not the same, you can't use the same excuse anymore. Like, you criticize the characters they're using, meanwhile, everyone's also picking top tiers. I think there is some truth to what Spaghetti Rip is saying in this tweet. The reason why I would say they're probably #1 too is because of how many top players they have. It's hard to judge Korea and Japan how many top players they truly have because sometimes they underperform, sometimes they perform well. But Pakistan, they have so many top tier players who can dominate entire tournaments. There's some Korean players and Japanese players and Americans in EU who can. One of these days, I really hope we get a Korea versus Japan so it can be settled. I have 2 tweets from Chanel that I want to mention because I like these. The first one says, it was a competition with too many mistakes. Kind of saying that he made too many mistakes. And also when I was watching Nee play, Nee made a lot of mistakes.
Hey Nee, what are you up to? Not blocking shit. Man, Steve got, there you go. Wow, you could have punished that with a launcher, you fucking scrub. Not a specialist? Dude, that's not something to ask of a specialist. Hey, you gotta be a specialist to hit both punches at the same time to punish. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's not a specialist. Oh God, 5 seconds. Oh, you scrub! What a scrub!
If you watch Nee at Evo and you watch this, there's a huge difference in how he was playing. I don't know what it is. Something about this one was off. He said he started playing Tekken when he saw my Alyssa and Julia. Thank you very much, but you showed great play today. Congratulations. I want to jump into the tweets from Arslan Ash. Right after Nee lost, he tweeted out, Alyssa is C tier. A lot of people was confused by this. They thought that Arslan was downplaying the skill of this character because a lot of people would say that she's A, if not S. I see a lot of people throwing this character in the S tier. Someone responds and says, damn, C tier. Character 1 TGU for Tekken 7 outplayed. Arslan laughs in response. Another response says C tier. Who thinks she is C tier? The same person who responded before says Nee. Another response, this is how cold Twitter is. Another response screenshots the tweet from Nee and shows that, like, this is what he said, eat these words. That is crazy. I think Alyssa is not good. She is bad at poking fight, damage is weak, and downforce is also at high risk. If I decide on a tier, I'll give her a grade C. Is it a character that already lost popularity with people, but you're really good? Amazing. I'm no pro player, but I always say that Alyssa is really good. If you remove all the DLC characters in the game, Alyssa and Claudia would have the highest win rates online. And I know win rates online is definitely not the same as tournament performance, but I don't ignore the win rates because the win rates speaks volumes for some of the characters who are underrated, some of the characters who go without notice. The Tekken community often seems to overlook characters, and I think Nee kind of does that too, and this time it bit him. Everyone overlooked Akuma, everyone overlooked Eliza, which is bizarre because we had Chanel playing Eliza for so long and people still considered the character to be so weak. Fang was weak up until Combo Breaker, Master Raven. It's a lot of characters who's riding under the radar until someone shows up at a tournament and landslides everyone. It seems like that's the only way a character gets respect, is when someone shows up and wins. Then people start saying, hey, maybe this character is better than what we thought. Now, in terms of Alyssa, the most known Alyssa player in the world is Cuddlecore. And with the discussion being about Alyssa, Cuddlecore gets in on it. She says all the discussion around Alyssa, LOL. The character is good, she has weaknesses. Great players play to her strengths and they work around her weaknesses. Many of us has already said that. Next discussion, please. Someone under says, what's her weaknesses? Lack of damage, wall damage is okay, mix-ups are very straightforward, she is very simple, and her lows are so-so. Responding to herself, Cuddlecore says, like this isn't new, and just because someone says a character is C tier doesn't mean a character is C tier to the player or everyone else. Alyssa has been a great tournament character for a while, but her tools are very different than others. Now, if you think she's C tier, I mean, fine. That's your opinion. But a lot of people, including myself, never thought so. So it's really awesome seeing players shine with her on many occasions because she got the tools to shut down, I think, 95% of the cast. That's the entire tweet. And I hope people come to their own conclusions about characters, though I do think North American always saw her as good, and frankly I put Alyssa at A tier, straight A from the jump of Tekken 7. End. Cuddlecore makes a lot of good points. The first tweet saying just because someone says this character is C tier doesn't mean C tier. Someone could say A tier, S tier, B tier, D tier. That's why I like the tier list, because you see what other people's opinions are, but that doesn't mean what their opinions are suddenly becomes fact. The third tweet, how she talks about come to your own conclusion. That is something that I see the most in the whole entire Tekken community. People will hear something that Main Man Sweet say, Blasted Salami, Nee, Arslan. Someone will say something and the whole community will just start repeating it. They won't think about, does it make sense? Is this true to my experiences? When I go and play Tekken, does this happen? People don't think about any of that. They just hear someone say and they repeat it. And I am so against that. Even if it is Nee or Arslan or Main Man or Harada, if anyone says something, we should challenge them. We should challenge their thought process because that's the only way. That's the only way things get done and done right. It's just monkey see, monkey do. We can't keep doing that. Now, when you talk about Alyssa and how powerful the character is, and someone using that character in tournament and bringing that to the forefront of the community, this is something that I always feared. If a tournament performs well in tournaments, they get nerfed. That's just what the developers shown us. If this character wins a tournament and they're not a 2D character or a DLC character, we're gonna nerf them. Dragunov, Kazumi, Jack, a bunch of characters. If Alyssa keeps performing well like this, also Master Raven and Fang, Leo, there's a bunch of new characters performing super well in tournaments. I would not be surprised if they got nerfed. That's just how the Tekken developers, it's reactionary balancing. Instead of having a plan and a goal as to how they want the game structured, they just nerf whichever character is winning the most. The last few tweets from Arslan Ash, I'll get through these rather quickly. How many times we have to prove this that Pakistan is the best region of Tekken? It's just my opinion that Pakistan is #1 from my experience. I'm not being arrogant. When people said Knee is better than Pakistan, I didn't have issue. No one did. I respect all scenes, but I'm allowed my opinion. There shouldn't be double standards. And that pretty much sums up the whole event. I don't know what's gonna happen next, who will defeat who. In my opinion, the only way this will truly be settled is with a Korea versus Pakistan or Knee versus Arslan Ash. We need that run back to really settle it. But really, I think the only true way is Korea versus Pakistan, because even if Knee beats Arslan or Arslan beats Knee, if Arslan beats Knee, it's going to be really bad for Knee. Twitter is going to lose it. But if Knee wins, everyone's going to be like, well, you still lost to him and you still haven't played this guy and this and that. So someone, Spaghetti Rib, Arslan Ash, Knee, Chanel, someone needs to set up this Pakistan versus Korea. If it could be a side tournament at the Tekken World Tour Finals or something, it needs to happen. But that's going to be it for this one. I just want to talk about this because there was a lot happening on Twitter. It was a lot happening in these matches, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. Hopefully you enjoyed this little breakdown of everything. If you did, like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos on my channel. Until next time, see you then. Bye bye.